The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. You bid a re-roof, you win it, then the inspector reads it on the deck and your margin's gone. Somebody told you the 2024 code changed everything, and now your crew is quoting numbers off a forum. By the end, you'll know what actually changed in the 2024 building code, which numbers are real, which depend on your town, and how to quote the right scope the first time. Here's what nobody says out loud. The code is not one rule book, it's a stack. And the roofers who lose bids read it as one thing. Start with the fact that saves you the most money. The International Building Code, the IBC, is a model code. A model code means a draft, not a law, until your area adopts it. It isn't enforceable anywhere until a state, county, or city adopts it, and they amend it and lag a cycle behind. So the 2024 edition matters because it's where most places are heading. It is not automatically the rule on your job. The enforceable rule is the adopted edition plus local amendments. Confirm that before you quote a number to a customer. Almost everything on a commercial roof lives in one place. Chapter 15, Roof Assemblies and Rooftop Structures. Fire rating, wind class, slope, underlayment, the ice barrier, drainage, recover or tear off. All of it, one chapter. But a roof job rarely stays inside it. Structural loads come from Chapter 16. Existing buildings pull in the existing building code. A house usually falls under the residential code, not the IBC at all. So Chapter 15 is where you start a code question. It is not where you finish it. Now the first decision. Which fire class do you need? Every roof covering carries a fire classification, tested A, B, or C. Class A resists the most fire exposure, Class C the least. Which one you need is set by the building's construction type, not your preference. Here's the trap estimators miss. The class belongs to the assembly, not the shingle alone. Architectural asphalt shingles are usually Class A on their own, but some wood and metal products only reach Class A as a tested system, and the inspector can ask for that listing. Fire country flips the rule. Work near wildfire, and the base fire table is the least strict rule on the job, not the most. Wildland urban interface zones, the WUI, the band where houses meet open fuel, commonly require Class A, no matter the construction type. They ban untreated wood roofing, and they reach past the covering to ember-resistant vents and non-combustible gutters. So a standard shingle can be Class A and still red tag the job, because the vents and the edge details failed. Ask the building department for the parcel's hazard zone in writing, and bid to it. Next decision. Which wind class? Wind is where roofs fail, so the code is blunt. Asphalt shingles get tested and labeled for wind, to one of two standards. One rates them D, G, or H, where Class H takes the highest design speeds. The other rates them A, D, or F, where Class F is the higher. Watch the naming. That wind Class A has nothing to do with the fire Class A. The inspector checks the labeled class against your site's design wind speed. A 130 mph marketing line is not the same as the right labeled class. Here's what the label doesn't tell you. Fastening drives real-world wind performance more than the class ever does. The rating assumes the shingle is installed per the maker's instructions. Correct nail count, usually 4 to 6. Nails in the zone, not high. Sealant strip activated. A Class H shingle nailed wrong performs like a cheap one, and the code makes those instructions enforceable. 2 more. Wind peels a roof from the edges in, so a sealed starter course matters as much as the field. And hail impact is a separate rating from wind. 3 tests, 3 failure modes. The slope decision is the one that reads jobs on site. Asphalt shingles are only legal on a slope of 2 and 12 or steeper. 2 and 12 means 2 inches of rise for every 12 of run. Below that, shingles are not a code-compliant covering, because they can't shed standing water. You move to a membrane, and one detail gets missed. From 2 and 12 up to 4 and 12, shingles need 2 layers of underlayment, doubled, because the shallow slope lets water back up under the courses. At 4 and 12 and steeper, 1 layer is the minimum. Cold climate roofs add a number worth memorizing. The ice barrier. An ice barrier is a watertight membrane along the eave that stops backed up ice melt. Where the code requires it, it runs from the lowest roof edge to at least 24 inches inside the exterior wall line, measured up the slope. That part is what people botch. It's 24 inches past the inside face of the warm wall, not up from the edge. And whether your town requires it at all is a local amendment question. Warm climate departments often delete it. Confirm before you bid it in or out. Low slope work has its own pair of rules, and they prevent collapses. First, positive drainage. A new membrane roof must drain, minimum a 1/4 inch per foot. Positive drainage means no standing water 2 days after rain. Long ponding voids most warranties. Second, a secondary path that assumes the primary one is blocked. Every design needs an overflow drain or scupper, set so trapped water can't get deeper than the structure was built to carry. A clogged drain with no overflow turns a wide roof into a pool, and the deck drops. The overflow is the safety valve. Now the reroof rule that erases the most margin. The 2-layer ceiling. You generally cannot have more than 2 layers of covering on a building. If a roof already carries 2, the next one is a full tear-off to the deck, and recovering is flat-out prohibited when the existing roof is water-soaked or rotted, or it's slate, clay tile, or wood shakes. So the cheapest insurance in re-roofing costs 5 minutes. Count the existing layers and probe the deck before the proposal goes out. A tear-off you assumed was a recover eats the job in one afternoon. Now the part that trips up the 2024 edition. Most of what changed in Chapter 15 was reorganized and clarified, not overhauled. Scupper and overflow language got consolidated. Gutter and drainage sections got renumbered. The intent held. So your real risk isn't a brand new rule. It's your old spec citing a 2021 section number, while the inspector reads the 2024 layout. The fix is dull, and it works. Confirm the adopted edition, then pull that edition's number. Don't sell a 2024 provision in a town still on an older cycle. That gets contractors in trouble. Here's the line you cannot cross, and it's not about the code. It's about the claim. When a storm re-roof runs through insurance, your job is one thing. You document what you see. Photos, measurements, an estimated roof age range. And you write an estimate. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim, and the deductible is theirs to pay. The day you handle, negotiate, or settle that claim, you're an unlicensed public adjuster, and states enforce it. Never offer to waive or cover a deductible. That's fraud in many states. Document. Don't diagnose the claim. Here's where Roof Predict fits and where it doesn't. The code decision you made is only worth anything if you can find it when an inspector or a carrier asks. Roof Predict keeps that paper trail with the address, and it pairs an estimated roof age range with storm physics modeled per home, so a crew works the roofs, a storm most likely aged out, instead of the whole street. It does not inspect roofs, certify a rating, diagnose damage, or decide coverage. Roof age is a range, not a date. The record starts the job. The ladder verifies it. Close the loop. The code is a stack, not a rulebook, so you read it by the decision in front of you. Fire class by construction type. Wind class by site speed. Shingles only at 2 and 12 and up. Doubled underlayment to 4 and 12. Ice barrier 24 inches past the warm wall, where it's adopted. 2 layers max before a tear-off. The 2024 edition mostly renumbered, so match the section to the adopted edition. Document the conditions. Write the estimate. Let the insurer decide coverage. Confirm the rule with the building department, then keep the record with the address. That's how the code stops being a trap.